working on cutting my sashing strips. First thing I'm going to do right now is go ahead and iron this fabric a little because it's pretty wrinkly before I start cutting. There's like a little bit of dirt on it or something. Okay. And get this ironed up really nicely. Okay, I get questions in my comments sometimes about my iron. It is nothing fancy. It is a Sunbeam iron from Target. They also sell them on Amazon. It's just a Sunbeam. And I think it was a $20 iron, but it does have a good amount of steam that you can get. So, and I like that it's a little bit heavy of an iron, so I feel like you get a good press when you iron with this one. Let's get cutting. I'm gonna fold it like this, that I have basically it 4 layers thick, so I can be cutting 4 of these strips at a time. And what I'm gonna do right now is start cutting these sashing strips out. All the sizes are in the pattern. This pattern is Let's Get Fancy by Sandy Gervais. I'm gonna start right here. My board is not straight. Okay. Next, I'm cutting the cornerstones. Now, in the pattern, it has a whole layout chart. So after I cut these, actually in this pattern, it gives you like how you're gonna lay it out. So the sashing goes around the blocks, and because this is set this way, the rows, it looks like it's on the diagonal. Okay, so I grabbed my first quilt block right here, which is this one. And when you're looking at this layout here, when you're looking at this, up here, I'm gonna have to do a sashing strip with a cornerstone to cornerstone and a sashing strip on either side of this block. So that's what I have to do first. I'm starting from that corner. So the first thing I'm gonna do is take a sashing strip and I'm gonna sew a cornerstone on either side of it. a sashing strip on the other side of this piece. On all of these, I'll be pressing towards the cornerstone. So I'm just gonna finger press this right now towards that cornerstone. This Morning Latte fabric is so beautiful. Okay, so looking at my diagram, this is gonna go across the top right there. But before it's gonna fit, I have to add a sashing strip here and there. Okay, so I have taken 4 sashing strips and I've sewn a cornerstone on each end. Now on one of these sashing strips, for this next row I'm working on, I'm gonna add an additional cornerstone just on one of these pieces to one end. Okay. Now, this, because my next row is, 4 cornerstones, 3 sashings. What did I end up with? Okay, no, I have 1 extra. Okay, I need this one, I don't need this one. Okay, I have to keep referring back to the diagram because this is a pretty, oh no. Let's see what that one was. Okay, all right, let's see here. Okay, so I am gonna sew, I'm gonna finger press it towards the sashing. Okay, there's 1. Now it just tells you to cut your, the pattern just tells you cut your sashing and cornerstones and then sew it all together. So if you've never laid a quilt out on point, that can be a little intimidating. So I'm just gonna take my time to show y'all how I'm working my way through this. Not the whole thing, but just till I get a couple rows done. Okay, so I've got 1 strip with 2, and then I have these others that each have 1. So now I can add this one onto here. And then I'll just take the end of this. It's long enough, I can fold it back up. I'll take the non-cornerstone end, I'll lay it on top of there, and just kind of make sure I match this up really nicely. Okay, so let's see if my row turned out. For this one, I need 4 cornerstones. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4 cornerstones and 3 sashing strips. Okay, so that's how that fits in. It looks funny right now because the setting triangles are not in there yet. But I'm going to continue on this way, just following the diagram and going diagonal row by diagonal row. Threads all over me, but that's what quilters have. Okay, so I've now done this block with the around. I've done that sashing and cornerstone row. Now I've got to do these blocks. So each of these blocks needs sashing and cornerstone. Well, those cornerstones are there. So really I just need to add sashing. Okay. I need to add the sashing. Alrighty. Let's do this. Okay. This sashing is so light. You have to really check and make sure there's like a very thin print on it that you're putting it on the right way. And you're not putting it on upside down. Because there is a right side and a wrong side, but it's very subtle. On this pink one, I'm gonna end up needing to do one on this side and a strip on this side, so that I'll end up having, it'll make sense in a second. So on this block right here, one of the ones in the row has to have a strip on either side. Same thing on this side. I will just finger press it back. Okay, so now it looks like this. Okay, just 2 more to do. Okay, I think I had. So now taking an edge that doesn't have a sashing strip and laying it next to here. This block might be one of my favorites. Okay, all right, so then last time, so the main thing is making sure that you're never putting a sashing strip, should never be next to a sashing strip, and a quilt block should never be by itself. It should always be with a sashing strip. So this is that next row. Is going to fit. Now this will fit here. See, this will end up going here. So we'll have to just really pin this in place so we can sew this on. Now, this block is going to end up going up here. But if you notice, I can't put this block on yet because I need to cut setting triangles, because this row actually has to have 2 setting triangles. I'm now beginning to cut my setting triangles and my corner triangles. And you cut squares, and for the setting triangles, you cut those squares just in fourths, and for the corner triangles, you cut the setting triangles just in half, the squares in half. This fabric is beautiful, and it feels wonderful. It's very high quality quilting cotton. So the cutting instructions are in the pattern, and as you can see here, those setting triangles on the sides of the quilt are much larger than the corner triangles. This little corner triangle that I have right here is much smaller. And the way I'm going to line it up is when I flip it over, I'm going to make sure that the point of this triangle points directly to that point in the star, that flying geese unit, and then I'll know that it's lined up. And there should be a little overhang on either side, and I'm going to just put some clips in here to make sure it stays in place, and I'm just going to sew this on. This is only my second time to ever make a king size quilt, and I bought a kit for it, and I have to say I was pleasantly surprised. There was plenty of fabric in the kit to make all the different components and borders, and I believe I still have enough left over for binding. Okay, so that's one corner done. I just have to continue working, and as I do this quilt, I am definitely going to have to be referring to that piecing diagram, because I've done a quilt that is set on point before. It was actually the other king size quilt that I've made, but in that one, it didn't have sashing and cornerstones, and it does add a little bit of an extra element. That it's not just the blocks, there's also sashing and cornerstones you have to add in before you add in your setting triangles. So I just took this slowly, methodically, tried to go row by row, referring to the piecing diagram. Did I have to use my seam ripper a couple times? Yes, but that's normal quilting, I think, is that sometimes if you realize you put something on backwards, that you have to rip it out with a seam ripper and turn it around and put it back on the right way. I left out one of the inner borders, but I was really happy with the way this turned out. I wanted to use that extra fabric for binding later on instead of having to purchase fabric for binding. I'm ready to find a piece of beautiful fabric for the back and get this over to my long armor. If you enjoyed this video, which was the third in a series on the Let's Get Fancy Quilt Kit by Sandy Gervais and Riley Blake Designs, then please give it a thumbs up, a hype, like, subscribe, follow along for more, and happy quilting!